तो मैम अब जैसे यूनिवर्सिटी में एडमिशन प्रोसेस ख़त्म हो चुका है और हमें ये भी पता चला है कि अब आप नॉर्दर्न एरिज़ोना यूनिवर्सिटी भी जा रहे हो, तो मैं चाहता हूँ कि आपका फॉरेन यूनिवर्सिटी में काफ़ी ज़्यादा एक्सपोजर है, तो उससे बच्चों को भी काफ़ी कुछ हेल्प मिले। आप और हम जो भी बात करेंगे, मैं आपसे ऐसे बात करूँगा कि असल में वो इंडिया में क्या क्या होता है और आप फॉरेन यूनिवर्सिटी में इतना गए हो तो वहाँ पे कैसा होता है।
Yes, thank you. I understand your concern. I think you are trying to ask that, ma'am, just try to compare. Yes, I agree that I have visited many universities, many in Europe, many in America, Australia, and I have a unique meaning experience in that way. And it would be very nice to share that with the students if that is of any use to them. Of course, I will try telling it every step because I still remember that video of ours. That, ma'am, should I do masters from India or USA, was a very hit video because that question was asked by me, some student in the class. So I thought, why not take up? So you cooperate for that and I'll be there for your help.
तो मैम मेरा पहला सवाल ये है कि अब बच्चे कॉलेज जाने लगे हैं, तो कॉलेज जाती एक टर्म होता है, ओरिएंटेशन होता है कॉलेज में जाते ही। ऑब्वियस सी बात है कि ये वाला एडमिशन प्रोसेस बहुत लंबा था, तो लेट कमर्स भी हैं, तो उनको भी आप बताएं कि ओरिएंटेशन होता क्या है।
I have varied experience for orientation. First, I'll tell you what do you understand by orientation. Orientation is an introduction basically. Orientation to the college, meaning if the orientation is at the college level, you will know everything about the college. In the orientation program, you will be told about the library, sports facility in the college, cultural auditorium, and what all things are happening in that college. And especially, cultural, I'm telling you, in the orientation, you will know how many societies are there in that college. In the sports, you will be told how many teams that college has, meaning where you can participate, NCC, NSS. And if the orientation is at the department level, then you will go to the department, you will meet all the faculty. On your website, you would have got this information that from this time to this time is the orientation for that subject. Then in the orientation, you will see the teachers who are going to teach you in that department at that time. You also meet the lab staff if you are sciences student especially. It's a sort of, orientation is a sort of formal this thing. And then if you ask me how it is different from abroad, I tell you, I have few interesting things before I go to abroad now. I tell you my own experience. I used to study in Daulat Ram College. I was undergraduate BSc Honours Botany there. And I remember at that time, ragging was a Hawa type of thing. So we never used to go to the college. What to talk of orientation? We used to be scared because the ragging, I hope you know the 3 Idiots ragging. So at that time, we used to have freshers party only, no orientation. And now we have orientation. Orientation is a formal part. And another segment in orientation is hostel. Those who are resident students, then they have orientation in the hostel also. The idea of orientation is introduction. They introduce you to whichever component they are talking at and whichever level they are talking. And maybe I can tell you another form of orientation which is happening in our parking at Sri Aurobindo College. And what is that? The seniors, they can't do ragging, but they still want introduction. So they are meeting the students in the parking. But our campus is absolutely ragging free. There is no ragging, not even a small element of ragging here. Another type of orientation is happening in the college nowadays is that is of election. Those who are contesting the elections, they are, introducing themselves to the newcomers because everybody wants a vote and they want to please them also. So if you have come here for orientation, you will know that you are invited for some party or they are trying to give you a flower or anything. But the orientation basically is introduction. And at whatever level it could be your hostel, it could be your department where you are studying, it could be your college, or it may be the election students or your seniors who want to see you outside the class. So I hope you could now understand what is orientation.
तो मैम एक टर्म और है दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी की कि फ्रेशर पार्टी बहुत फेमस है, तो आप थोड़ा वो भी एक्सप्लेन करें बच्चों को।
Freshers party is actually a party where the youngsters, the juniors, they are invited to perform and you have Miss Fresher and Mr. Fresher being chosen. If it is at the department level, like say if it is in the botany department, you will be Miss Botany and Mr. Botany. And if it is at the college level, you will be Miss Aurobindo, Mr. Aurobindo. So you have all sorts of competition happening and it is actually a party. Celebration, students dress up well and greet each other, meet each other and try to impress each other. So freshers party is actually a party, but it happens after a while, meaning after the introduction is done, meaning orientation has happened, then you'll be invited for a party, that is freshers party, where you actually enjoy and have celebration. And one freshers party is, nowadays what is happening is that election students also give a lot of freshers party, because again, they want vote from you, so they give you freshers party outside the college, because this is the trend which I usually observe. So that is unofficial freshers party, but the college also holds the official freshers party, both at the department level and at the college level.
तो मैम जैसा कि अभी आपने कहा कि इलेक्शंस तो बहुत ही फेमस है दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी के। मैं आपसे ये पूछना चाहूँगा कि जो भी न्यू जॉइनर्स आए हैं, इनको इनमें इन्वॉल्व होना चाहिए या नहीं होना चाहिए, या इनके लिए ये कैसे बेनिफिट है?
See, I tell you one thing, university election is a mini form of country's election. And I also tell you here, those who groom themselves in elections here at university, you will see that they are future politicians and holding the big positions of being ministers and prime minister, and meaning they get a training from here. So elections are very professionalized nowadays, and it is just the same way like the elections of the country. It becomes your moral duty to vote for it, and don't feel scared for anything. The moment you come to know who all is the candidate, you try to choose the right candidate who will be good for you. And how do you decide what is good for you and what is not? Is that at least you know now you have come to the college and you know what do we need. At least you should have some person whom you can approach in case of any problem. I tell you, some of the things go beyond our scope also. Those only students do for each other. So, like I tell you one example, which celebrity will come in the festivals, the students decide, and then you have to have some representative of yours in the election. On the positive note, I would just say that you must participate in the elections. That is your moral duty also, and don't feel scared of anything. But yes, of course, it is sometimes things get violent and disturbing also, so you have to be very cautious also. So, but I would just say that you must participate in elections.
तो हम जैसा कि मैंने भी बच्चों को बताया कि आपका फॉरेन यूनिवर्सिटी में बहुत ज़्यादा एक्सपोजर है, तो अब हम इन्हीं 3 टर्म को आपके एक्सपीरियंस से जानना चाहेंगे कि ओरिएंटेशन फॉरेन में कैसा होता है, फ्रेशर पार्टी कैसी होती है और वहाँ पे इलेक्शन होते हैं या नहीं होते हैं, तो आप थोड़ा वो बताएं।
See, I will tell you what I experienced, and I did not experience everything. But still, I can tell you few things which I found new when, like for elections or maybe freshers party especially. I have visited many universities, but for attending the freshers party, you should stay there for a longer time. So the university where I stayed for 1 year was University of Western Australia. There I was a postdoctoral fellow, and I very intently watched and observed everything, what is happening here, because things were new to me at that time. And now I will watch for you at Northern Arizona University next year, and I will definitely give you all the differences. But few things which I could cite, the difference which I observed, maybe I'm just telling you from my eyes, the students I observe here and the students I observed there. And again, I said I don't know everything. One thing is that freshmen, they call them freshmen, meaning not fresher, not junior, senior, they are the freshmen. And like here, the freshmen have lots of privileges and priority. So they are called freshmen, and like here, there's no Mr. Aurobindo or Miss Aurobindo type of thing there. But they have orientation like us at all the levels, university level and the department level, in which course you are studying, and then at your residence, if you are staying in the hostel, in your hostel also, you will have orientation, and people know each other. And there are few, I remember in UWA, there was a common room, I don't remember the name. And in the beginning, they take you for a tour to the university campus all along, and there was a special name for that common room, and they invite you there. It was a very good prestigious building of UWA, and they invite you there for informal meeting, and they explain you many things about the history and lots of things, which used to happen in that university or the university. The same thing happens here. So not much difference there, but the difference which I felt, I'm talking of the few 5-10 years before. At that time in India also, we used to be very restricted and limited. We didn't have that much of exposure. Like the drinks are very open there. I used to wonder at that time. They more believe in skiing or sea games, and they organize the sports meet also. They will, to acquaint yourself with the juniors and seniors, they call some sports event together, and they go out for skiing or maybe some sea game, and some of their games are, so these things also I didn't observe them here, but they take full week. It's not 1 day orientation there, it's a full week orientation week, and there they organize different parties, maybe parties, their parties are in the night, but we don't see night parties here. And we don't see that we take students to some sports or maybe to some seashore or a river or those type of things. So these were the small differences which I observed at that time. This is what I remember. But I don't remember that whether there were elections or do they elect their members or not. But I'm sure this time, because you asked me this question, I will find it out from Northern Arizona University for you, that how exactly things are different in here to there at the university or maybe the college level.
तो हम जैसे कि आप भी एक टाइम पे स्टूडेंट थे, तो आप अपना कोई मोमेंट शेयर करना चाहेंगे बच्चों के साथ यूडब्ल्यूए का?
Yeah, memorable moment or what I can remember at this stage. The one thing is that I was not a student there. I was a visiting scientist, visiting professor from here, sent from Delhi University to, I was working here in this Sri Aurobindo College, and then I was sent to UWA for postdoctoral research. Of course, I was young, I had a small son at that time, and I had a feel of student, meaning exactly I was not a professor, but I had just finished PhD and joined this job. And immediately after that, I went there. So you asked me a memorable event. I still remember. It was, after I had been to University of Vienna before that, but that was my second trip. And I was very much like, at that time, because my son was around, I was very busy with him. But then there was an international lunch again for orientation. There was an international lunch and everybody was supposed to bring one dish of whatever they feel like to that international lunch, and they will have lunch together. So, chickpea, I cooked chickpea typical Indian style because I had just gone from here and I was a routine household of India. So I took that chickpea in a steel bowl because we use steel utensils mostly. At that time we used to use them. And I went for that international lunch with my son and I just forgot about everything because chickpea is a very routine thing for us. It's a small thing, and because my professor had asked me to participate, I participated with my chickpea and just forgot everything about that. But what happened after a while, that there was one of my lab mate, I still remember her name, she was Simon Mercer. She was coming with my bowl in her hand. Whose is this? This has got first prize in the international dish competition they were having. So our conventional chickpea and our steel bowl caught attention of everyone and we got the first prize. This was on a lighter note because we were talking of the freshers party orientation and things like this. But it is always interesting to share these things with the youngsters because I was a very ordinary student, I tell you, but I was very hardworking. I used to study a lot. So maybe things motivate you and you get some benefit out of this. I found maybe I could share this with you at this platform. Thank you.